And greetings from Finland, from a little different atmosphere, but meaning only the climate. Happy International Arts Education Week for everyone. What a great initiative from Casey's, and we are celebrating it in many, many countries in Europe, I know, and I've seen that here as well, which is always great. I'm very impressed of the things I've seen and heard today, earlier this morning in our upcoming Children's Art Village, but also La Villette and Young Viete. So very, very impressive. I have a little bit different aspect maybe or point. I'm representing a network of children's culture centers or children's culture operatives. And as was said before, we are 36 actual members around Finland, from southern parts to the northern Lapland, and also we have 60 cooperative members. Those include individual art educators, artists, poets, for example, small municipalities who are not yet so much into children's culture and arts, but want to be part of the network. So, I'm going to go through a little bit of our network and the numbers behind that, and us, and then present you some of the member organizations of what they do, and also the key programs that we operate. Our kind of principle of operations lies with the UN Rights of the Child, and from that we've created the quality manual for children's arts and culture, which is kind of our operating manual for our members. There you can see the vision and mission of us, and this is a birthday week for us as well as it is for Casey's in a way. It's 20 years for Casey's, it's 10 years for us, but actually the network started a bit longer, a long time ago. 2003 was the Aladdin's Lamp network was founded by the Ministry of Finland, and 7 children's cultural centers were given a specific task to operate in children's arts and culture. And those were all very different tasks and specialities. For example, one that still operates mainly in visual arts. One was working with, and still is, with architecture and environmental arts. One was specialized in circus and children with special needs. So that still highlights what we are today and how we operate as a network. So we have lots of different specialities among our members, and we spread that through different meetings annually and try to develop our capacity and know-how of art education. So 2015, the association was formed, and as I said, many different kinds of organizations. And Finland is a large country. We have many children's culture centers are in cities, of course, where most of the people are. But we also have small municipalities with long distances, and the challenges are very different there. And therefore, we have mobile children's cultural centers who don't really operate in any venue, but they go where children are. And there you can see, I will not hopefully go through all the numbers because this is not the only slide about the figures, but we 36 members, these are last year's statistics from 34 of our members, and so we cover 70% of Finland's municipalities and cities, and that's quite a lot from 36 operators, and nearly 3 million face-to-face actions with children. With overall, and then 1.8 million with children. Languages are interesting. When I started in my position 7 years ago, it was our national languages are Finnish and Swedish. It was mainly Finnish, Swedish, English little, Russian little, but now it's 15, and in the city of Vantaa, where people usually fly when they go to Finland, Helsinki-Vantaa Airport, the third biggest city in Finland, they speak 116 languages. So to offer cultural services for families with that many languages in use, it can be very, very difficult. There's some more about the network and what we do. You can see the figures there. And by the way, from the statistics, since we are in Korea, we get these statistics once a year, and the biggest event of our network happened here in Korea. From one of our members, they had an exhibition here which had more than 5,000 participants. So we operate also somewhere outside the borders of Finland. Here you can see what actually are the age groups where we work with, and the target groups there. And because we operate mainly in schools or early childhood education, it goes to the younger age, so 0 to 6 and 7 to 12 are the most popular target groups for children. It's also because of when in Finland you turn 13, you go to upper secondary school, and the school system changes quite a lot. It's not that easy to get inside the school systems anymore, because I'm not quite sure what the system with curriculum is nowadays here in Korea or even in UK or France, but at least in Finland the art and crafts topics have really decreased in recent years, and in the school system there's not so much arts and crafts anymore, and that's why we will come back to our sort of momentum, which is the cultural education plans that we operate with. And here's some more statistics of what the network actually, what we do, what sort of things happen. Mainly workshops for cultural education plans, but then of course performances, exhibitions, etc. So different kinds of things. So as I said before, we have different approaches, different choices of art. Our member organizations are public and private. Half are public, half private. And some of them are national. They work all around Finland. Some work regionally, some locally. Some are mobile, and some are just venues where children and families come to. So here's a couple of examples of private children's cultural centers. Because our office is in Tampere, Finland, we usually use examples from that area. And this on the left, you see the cultural cooperative Oulu. It promotes Finnish folk music, and it has the biggest collection of instruments from all around the world, more than 800 instruments. So it is in a way sort of a museum as well as a cultural center. But they work mobile in 49 municipalities, and this usually means that they work in very small municipalities. By this I mean, like I said, there's more than 300 municipalities. More than 200 of those are very, very small. It might be a bit hard to understand how small they are, but the very isolated areas with 1,000 to 4,000 people. And so there's not many cultural operations taking place in those municipalities, not art institutions, maybe usually cultural heritage sites and library. Those exist. And then mobile operators like Oulu take and go there usually for 2-3 days at a time, and then they do all classes and operate with them. The Culture Center Pipo is located it's one of our founding members. It's located in the biggest mall in Finland, and so it has lots of potential. It is the one specialized in children with special needs, and circus, but all sorts of art forms their art educators do. Biggest program for past couple of years has been the life work of our national children's poet, Kirsi Kunnas, who would have been 100 years last year. She died at the age of 99, unfortunately, so she wasn't there live, but we have celebrated that around Finland with new poetry and with their work. They also have a great kind of brand that they made this mall walk for elderly people, because in the mornings the mall is quite empty, and they do a mall walk with the retired people, and then they go to the cultural center, and usually they sing different themes that they decided a week before that. So it happens every week. So those are the two ones, and I will talk a little bit more about this mobile thing, because it's very important for us, and luckily it's been supported quite well now. That and in a way, for us it's really important in a way that it makes arts and culture education accessible to really many children who would be without anything if there weren't this program. So I already said that they usually go to municipality for a few days and run a program for all classes, and it usually is tailor-made for municipalities' needs also, or specialities that they have in that area. For example, which cultural heritage sites they have, so they create stories and maybe do visual arts based on that, what's happening next. Yeah. Then, of course, the public ones are the biggest ones for us. Biggest operators, the biggest cities are included. And this example is Oulu, the next European Capital of Culture, 2026. And also one of the founding members of our association. And their speciality is in cinema education and what else? I forgot. it's cinema education and word art in many its forms, like literature, poetry, etc. So they have a festival on that and different events. And they are actually the ones who will open the next Children's Culture Center. They already have one venue, but they have they're opening one next spring during the European Cultural Capital year, and it will be in a huge building, and it will be upstairs of the library. So because they do the word art, it's in conjunction with the library. Very, very interesting place. And last week we celebrated another campaign week. We had a Children's Culture Week, and more than 100 events took place last week, and we were celebrating in many different forms. And this is something we've noticed, that without campaigns or without events or festivals, the children's arts and culture really doesn't get the visibility that easily. So it's very, very important to have this for us. So just briefly, the Finnish education system for you. I will not go into details with this, but we work with because we want to offer arts and culture to all children. That's why we work with early childhood education and schools, because that's where all the kids are. So that's the system. I will not go into details with the other forms of children's arts and culture. Of course, there are many operators and many things happening. Basic education in arts is a structure and system in Finland that makes our artists in a way, but it's a very marginalized group that participates to become a violinist or cellist. This cultural education plan is what we have kind of came up as a solution to reach all children and youngsters in Finland, and it is a plan linked heavily to the curriculum of the school, but it's not mandatory part of that. So I will leave you with this. It's a bit small, but you can see it probably all right. But you can see my hometown's culture path for its pupils at the moment. So it actually starts. The plan is for 0 to 2-year-olds, but not in place yet. But they have plan already. But then it continues throughout the grades. And there are this is in a way a minimum of what is in the plan. So my daughter is in 5th grade now, and she had a cellist from the orchestra visiting her class. They did a workshop, and then later they went to visit and saw the orchestra play. So that's sort of how it looks like in Finland, and of course it's a way to also hire artists and also grow new audiences in the city. So time is running out. Art Testers is the biggest program in Finland. I will go to this one. It's the voice of adolescents. All 8th graders have gone twice in a semester to high-quality art events. And it's also volunteered for schools, but the participation rate has been, for 8 years, 100%. All classes go, and they adolescents give their voice, they give their feedback on how did they feel about the art they saw. So very important part for us. And now I have run out of time, and you can see I had quite a few slides. So, but thank you very much, and thank you.